This year is on record to break records for campaign spending. The New York Times reporting that political candidates are on pace to spend $3 billion by November. That is the most ever in any campaign, even a presidential campaign. One of the reasons you're going to see more ads is a Supreme Court ruling that knocked down corporate spending limits. And political action committees are taking in millions of dollars from anonymous donors. Here's what veteran Republican Ed Gillespie said about the ad blitz here on Jansing and Company.
That's the law, and they're perfectly free to do that. Conservative groups are perfectly free to do it as well. And what you're seeing now, Chris, is an orchestrated effort by the organized left to try to intimidate these groups from participating in the democratic process, even though they've been doing it themselves.
Linda Kaplan Thaler is an expert on political ads. She's CEO and Chief Creative Officer of the Kaplan Thaler Group. And Joyanne Reed and Pat Buchanan join us as well. Well, it seems to me, Linda, this is a good time to be you.
I will tell you, media spending is up record levels. You can't believe it. It is a perfect confluence, the perfect storm of these wealthy business people who just want to do good and want to participate and become famous, spending oodles of money, the private action groups not having to commit the money, and you say who the donors are, which is fantastic. And you've got the incumbents who can't just sit there anymore. It was a long time ago.
Tight races, and so
very
obviously there's a lot of people interested in this, Pat. They're pouring millions and millions of their own dollars into these campaigns. A lot of these folks, we don't even know who they are. Did you ever think we'd see in an off-season, an off-year election, a $3 billion campaign?
I guess it was inevitable. But, Chris, look at the bright side. Who gets the money? Those of us in the media. It all goes for TV and newspapers and ads and things like that. So
it's
the money is
Political Pundit Full Employment Act, Pat. We want to create jobs.
We want some trickle down from the guys that are getting the money here, Chris.
But why? Here's the question people are asking me, Pat. We're sitting in the room. Right. We got a lot of young people there. They haven't been through that many campaigns, and they're saying to me, why are these people spending all this money, and why does it take all this money? Who are they, Pat? The folks that we don't know who they are, and why are they spending all this money?
Well, I think one of the main reasons they're spending money, especially businesses and corporations and executives, is they are terrified. I mean, they had thought that Barack Obama was a centrist. He got an awful lot of votes that normally go Republican. He got an awful lot of money that normally goes Republican. He was a big winner on Wall Street. And they see the Democrats now as having moved dramatically to the left, and they are shocked and stunned. I think this is one of the mistakes of the Obama administration. It's allowed this perception to take hold that is, quote, socialist. And that's why this money is coming in. And, of course, the traditional conservatives who didn't care much about, McCain are now deeply upset where the country is going. So I can understand 100% why the right and why corporations are pouring money in. And my guess is it is the liberals who are not given the way they did in 2008.
Is there a gap for them? Is there a problem for them, Joyanne?
Well, I mean, you know what? I think it's interesting that the do-good portion of the spending is where I have a problem. This is just an extravagant purchase toward direct self-interest. These are corporations who want their own taxes cut. They want their own industries deregulated. They see this as an investment in getting a return. If you think just for a moment about if, let's say, Social Security privatization could happen, you're talking about giving Wall Street access to, what, a $2.5 trillion bounty of public money to invest. This is seen as an investment. They're looking to cut their own taxes, deregulate their own businesses, and they're investing in the candidates they think will do it.
Okay, if we accept that, then I think what a lot of people are saying, well, what about somebody like Meg Whitman, who's spending 120, who knows
Same thing.
How much, many millions of dollars.
She's spending more than any other candidate ever. I mean, this of her private money. And yet, this is the power of the web. Something gets on there about, hiring an illegal worker, and suddenly she goes down in the polls. You can't put a price tag on, there's no delete in cyberspace. That's priceless. But the fact is, I don't know if the negative ads work anymore.
All right, Linda Kaplan Thaler, Joyanne, Pat, we could talk much more about this. We're out of time, but thank you.
Okay.